The Netherlands, land of water, wind, and wonders. Imagine a country where the biggest enemy isn't a neighboring nation, but the sea itself. Where people looked at the rising waters and said, okay, you're strong, but we're smarter. Welcome to the Netherlands, a place that, against all odds, turned water from a threat into its most valuable ally. This is not just a small European state, it's a country that has been shaping the world for centuries. Let's dive into the story of the Dutch, their land, their people, their history, and their quirky, bold, and brilliant way of doing things. Geography, a country built on water. The Netherlands sits in northwestern Europe, hugging the North Sea, and bordered by Germany to the east and Belgium to the south. It may look small, about 41,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of Switzerland, but don't be fooled. This tiny patch of land is home to over 17.5 million people, making it the most densely populated country in Europe. The land is famously flat. How flat? The highest point in the European mainland part is only 322 meters tall, a hill called Valserberg. Meanwhile, the lowest point, Zuidplaspolder, sinks more than 7 meters below sea level. About a quarter of the land and a fifth of the population lie below sea level. Without dikes, levees, and pumps, vast regions, including Amsterdam and Rotterdam, would simply disappear beneath the waves. And speaking of waves, the Netherlands is basically one giant river delta. The Rhine, Meuse, and Scheldt rivers all snake their way through the country before reaching the sea. It's this geography that made the Dutch masters of water engineering. Water engineering, taming the sea. Let's be real, without engineering, the Netherlands wouldn't exist as we know it. The Dutch created polders, reclaimed land protected by dikes. This began as early as the 9th century, when locals built crude earthen mounds called turpen to escape floods. Over the centuries, the system evolved into a sophisticated network of canals, windmills, pumping stations, and artificial lakes. Today, nearly a fifth of the country's land has been reclaimed from the sea. Flevoland, the newest province, was entirely created in the 20th century, reclaimed from the Zuiderzee. And in the south, the Delta Works, built after a catastrophic flood in 1953, became one of the largest engineering projects in history, a system of storm surge barriers and sea defenses so advanced it's considered one of the modern wonders of the world. The Dutch even think ahead. Many areas have backup levees, in case one barrier fails. Entire neighborhoods are built on floating platforms. There are even bridges designed specifically for wildlife, helping animals safely cross highways. Only the Dutch could turn flood defense into an art form. Provinces, cities, and overseas territories. The Netherlands has 12 provinces, each with its own character. North and South Holland are the most famous, home to Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and The Hague, but Friesland in the north has its own unique language, and Limburg in the south feels almost Belgian with its rolling hills. Amsterdam is the capital and cultural jewel, canals, gabled houses, bicycles everywhere, world-class museums, and yes, coffee shops that don't just serve coffee. The Hague, however, is the political capital, home to the Dutch parliament, the royal family, and international institutions like the International Court of Justice. Rotterdam, meanwhile, boasts the largest port in Europe, a symbol of Dutch trade power. But the Netherlands doesn't end in Europe. In the Caribbean, 6 islands still belong to the kingdom. Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten function as semi-independent countries, while Bonaire, Saba, and Sint Eustatius are special municipalities. These islands add tropical flair to Dutch identity, and in Sint Maarten, the Dutch even share a land border with France. Fun fact, Saba is home to the world's shortest commercial runway, just 400 meters long, perched between mountains and the sea. Landing there is not for the faint of heart. Economy, small country, huge impact. Despite its size, the Netherlands is an economic powerhouse. It consistently ranks among the top 20 largest economies and is one of the world's top exporters. Its secret? Trade, innovation, and efficiency. The Dutch East India Company, founded in 1602, is considered the world's first multinational corporation and created the first stock exchange. Amsterdam became the beating heart of global commerce in the Golden Age. Today, the Netherlands still dominates world trade. Rotterdam's port is Europe's busiest. Schiphol Airport is one of the world's largest hubs. The Netherlands exports everything from high-tech machinery and electronics to flowers, cheese, and vegetables. Agriculture is especially impressive. Despite being tiny, the Netherlands is the second largest exporter of agricultural products in the world, right after the United States. Innovative greenhouse farming allows them to produce staggering amounts of food with minimal land. Companies like Royal Dutch Shell and Philips made the Netherlands a global player in energy and technology. The Dutch invented the audio cassette, the CD, and even played a role in Blu-ray development. Not bad for a nation of cheesemakers. Culture: tall, tolerant, and practical. Dutch people are famously tall, the tallest in the world, in fact. Men average 6 feet 1 inch, women 5 feet 7 inches. Scientists suggest this might be due to natural selection combined with good nutrition. Whatever the reason, prepare to feel short when you visit. Culturally, the Dutch are pragmatic and straightforward. Their motto, "Doe normal, act normal," reflects their love for modesty and no-nonsense behavior. Yet, paradoxically, they are pioneers of progress. The Netherlands was the first country to legalize same-sex marriage, and it regulates prostitution and euthanasia. Their drug policy is famously tolerant, though carefully managed. The Dutch also value equality and openness. Home births are still common, about a third of Dutch babies are born outside hospitals. Bicycles are everywhere, there are more bikes than people in the country, and cycling lanes stretch for thousands of kilometers. Food, comfort with a twist. If you love hearty meals, Dutch cuisine won't disappoint. Traditional favorites include stampot, mashed potatoes mixed with vegetables, served with sausage. Stroopwafels, caramel-filled waffle cookies. Bitterballen, fried meatballs, perfect with beer. Poffertjes, tiny fluffy pancakes with powdered sugar. Herring, raw herring, eaten with onions, a true Dutch delicacy. Gouda cheese, the pride of the nation, pronounced Gouda. Breakfast can be as simple as bread with butter and chocolate sprinkles. Yes, adults eat this too. Thanks to colonial history, Indonesian satay and Surinamese dishes are also popular, giving Dutch cuisine a spicy kick. And of course, beer. Heineken may be the most famous, but local craft breweries are thriving. The Dutch once dominated world beer exports until Mexico recently took the crown. Language and people. The official language is Dutch, but don't worry, English is almost universally spoken. The Netherlands consistently ranks number 1 in English proficiency among non-English speaking countries. Frisian is recognized in Friesland, while Papiamento, a Creole mix of Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, and African languages, thrives in the Caribbean territories. The population is diverse, while about 77% are ethnically Dutch, large communities of Turks, Moroccans, Surinamese, Indonesians, and others enrich the cultural landscape. This diversity shows in food, music, and everyday life. Arts, music, and sports. Dutch creativity is legendary. Think of painters like Rembrandt and Van Gogh, or writers like Anne Frank, whose diary remains one of the most powerful testimonies of World War II. Music today. The Netherlands is the beating heart of electronic dance music. Global superstars like Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, Martin Garrix, and Afrojack all hail from here. Amsterdam even hosts the world's largest electronic music conference, the Amsterdam Dance Event. In sports, the Dutch excel at speed skating, cycling, and field hockey. Football is also a national passion, Ajax and PSV are names known worldwide. History, from Golden Age to modern times. The Dutch have one of the richest histories in Europe. Ancient tribes battled Romans. The Middle Ages brought castles, trade, and floods. The 16th to 17th century saw the Dutch Golden Age. Explorers like Abel Tasman sailed across the world, Amsterdam became a financial capital, and Dutch art flourished. Colonies stretched across Asia, Africa, and the Americas. New York was once New Amsterdam, Australia was called New Holland, and New Zealand was named after Zeeland province. The 20th century brought challenges. Germany invaded during World War II, causing immense suffering. Afterward, the Netherlands rebuilt, joined NATO and the EU, and became a symbol of democracy and prosperity. Friends and global ties. The Dutch have strong ties worldwide. Belgium is like a sibling, close, teasing, and inseparable. Germany is their biggest trading partner, though World War II left some lingering shadows. Canada holds a special place. During the war, the Dutch royal family found refuge there, and to this day the Netherlands sends thousands of tulips to Ottawa every spring as thanks. With the United States, ties run deep, from Dutch immigrants who helped shape American culture to major trade and political cooperation. And let's not forget South Africa, where Afrikaans evolved from Dutch, and Indonesia, where centuries of colonial history left a complex but lasting connection. Conclusion: a country that refuses to sink. The Netherlands is paradox in motion, the lowest country in Europe, but home to the tallest people on earth. A land that built itself out of the sea. A small nation that once ruled a global empire. A society that values both tradition and bold, groundbreaking innovation. If one phrase sums up the Dutch, it might be this: we keep our heads above water. And somehow, they always do, with a smile, a bicycle, and maybe a stroopwafel in hand.